Today we're going to test the Aixun iHeater. This is a sandwich board splitter for iPhone motherboards. And we're going to test out, see how it works for a 10s motherboard and a 12 Pro Max. 12 Pro Max use a higher melting point, which is very difficult not to destroy the motherboard. So let's see how this performs and see how it works and if it's something you should get. So let's go ahead and unbox this. This was sent to me courtesy of DIYFixTool.com, so you make sure you guys check out their website. You can purchase this there. I will link it down below. So this is the main unit. It's basically a little, it's the size of my hand. There is a built-in fan in here so you can cool down certain models. I did notice that this will only work for certain heat plates. There is buttons here, so I guess there's an on and off. Increase and lower temps. This is where your temperature will be displayed. Now these little plates are you can swap them out depending on what model you're working on, and they do sell the main unit plus the modules, so you have to get the modules you need for the models you'll be working on. And here comes the 10, 10s, 10s Max. Then I do have some other heaters that they included, some other modules. So this is 11 Pro, 11 Pro Max. This is the iPhone 11. This is the iPhone 12 Pro Max and 13 Pro Max. Now I don't have every single module available, but you can check on their website and you'll see all of them that you can get. And then under here was the power cable. Pretty simple. It's the same plug as pretty much a lot of devices now. A lot of my other heaters use that exact same plug, so it's pretty nice because now I just have one cable and I can swap between different tools. All right, so let's go ahead and test this out. So one of the things you'll notice is you can swap these out. To do that, it's a little tricky, but there's like a little latch here that you would kind of move out of the way. You lift up this right side and then it comes out this way. Then if you put another one, the wide ones, so there's two small ones here close to each other, and then there's the wide ones. So these go on this side. So if you look at here, there's like some notches. It goes in that way, and then you push this forward and it locks it in. And it's a little rough. It's brand new. I haven't used it, so we're going to be testing it live here on camera. See how it works. But you can see it's a little rough right now because it is brand new. Now this one is a really thick one, 13 Pro Max. I don't know why it's like that, but it is. So same thing. Now this one, obviously, this heater's not gonna work. And I think this heater is triggered by this magnet. I don't see no other on and off switch for the heater. And here's where I was saying it gets tricky because you can't get your fingers in there to get this out of the way. All right, so let's test out the iPhone XS. Now this is a motherboard that has never been worked on, although the sticker is peeled off because I was checking this NAND to see if I could use it for a NAND replacement, and it wasn't the right size I needed. All right, so I'm gonna put the 10s Max heater. I'm assuming it goes like that. All right, let's see what happens. So we put this, you can see how this will cool down the board, which is pretty cool. All right, so to turn this on the cable, there's a switch here where you have to flip it on and off. Now I do have another cable, I already have it all wired in. So I'm gonna flip that switch and it kicks on right away. And then before I do that, one thing you do wanna do is on this model is slice through the sticker. Otherwise, it's going to prevent you from splitting the sandwich. And then also, since we're here, let's get rid of the foam around the connectors. Because this stuff kind of melts around everything. I think I got it all. All right, so this is a low melt model. So let's set it to 180. I think it's hard to see on camera. So I'm gonna set You can see 70, 80, 90. So 180, I would say, is a good temperature for iPhone 10, 10s, 10s Max, iPhone 11, 11 Pro, 11 Pro Max. Use 180 because this is the low melt solder. Now for 12 and 13s, you want to go a little higher. Now I do already see some smoke. Also, one thing I forgot to remove as well was the sticker right here. All right. So look at that. It reached 180 pretty quick. I already see smoke, although I don't know what's burning per se. But it hit 180. What I like to do when splitting these, I do push down just to make sure the flux on the solder has flowed, and then you can use one hand to hold the device down. I do use my tool 3D tweezers to insert right above the interposer. Let's see, I'm not sure if it's ready to melt yet. Oh yeah, look at that. Alright, there you go. Splits real easy. Now the question is 180 way too high? So one thing to look for is under the microscope. Let's take a look to see if there's any solder balls around the underfilled components. So let me go ahead and turn this off. I don't know what that does. I see on and off here, but I don't know what it does. Also, let's see if this fan thing works. Yeah, I laid it down and I can see the fan is on. So that's pretty cool. Now I did hear the fan kick on much faster now. I'm curious to see how fast this cools down. You can see the temp now at 130. It's gonna reach 120 any second now. Now it would be nice if that worked for every model. Like I said, some of these plates are a little too thick. Like these things will get in the way of that fan, so it won't work. This one definitely not. Compare the thickness of these, they're way off. Look at that, it's already at 100 degrees. I do feel the heat kind of blowing out the sides. Now it does run when you have it sideways as well. I'm gonna turn it off from the power switch, and let's take a look under the microscope the condition of this board. Oh, it's kind of stuck. There it goes. Alright, so this is the bottom board. Let's see if we see any. Oh yeah, this is way too high. I might have to do like 160, because the heater I normally use is the Mechanic IX5 Max or something like that. And you can see these solder balls should not be there. Anytime I split pretty much any other sandwich, I would never see solder balls. But this one, definitely extra hot. Oh, look at that, even a capacitor. Oh, wow. There's like solder everywhere. There's a straight capacitor here. Alright, so maybe the heater's fine, just the temperature is not the right temperature to use. I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you use this heater? If so, what temperature do you use? Oh, this board is damaged too. Now this is just a donor board, so you don't have to worry about destroying a customer's phone. Look at that, look at these capacitors, they're way too, they look burnt. Alright, let's take a look at the top board to see if there's any signs of overheating. Now the board should be a booting device, but honestly I didn't test it before. But yeah, I mean, there was a lot of smoke coming out of this, so I normally don't see that much smoke. Yeah, see, this is what I was talking about, the foam. Like melts around the connectors. So definitely take out this foam before you even... Alright, well, this is the bottom of it. This looks all charred as well. Alright, now the top board. Do we see any signs of overheating? Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, here's that cap that came off. There's another cap that's loose. Right here. There's a bunch of stray solder everywhere. Look at this solder ball right here. So yeah, I think we have to be careful on the next test. Oh, look at that. Those were bumped while I was trying to lift it. So I'm gonna have to test another board just to rule out the temp issue. Yeah, look at that coil. It's like literally on this shifted off. So one of the things I do like about the mechanic one is that this is only on and off. There's no temperature setting. You don't have to worry about accidentally having, you know, working on an iPhone 12 and then you go to work on an iPhone 10 and the temperatures are like way different. And then you end up destroying, you know, a board because you just you didn't look at that moment at the temperature and forgot about it. So let's take a look at a 12 Pro Max and see how that works out. All right, so to change it out, this is probably hot, so I don't want to use my hands. Move that out of the way. All right, 12 Pro Max. Let's put that in, lock it in. All right, no, so one question I have is, will this work with this 5G antenna? I don't want to, you know, there needs to be some consideration for this antenna when doing this, when making these tools, and it doesn't look like, yeah, this is gonna be a big no for me because this heat plate does not support. And here in the US, we have this 5G, millimeter wave antenna that is soldered on, and you can't easily take it off. Yeah, you can't fit this on here. There's just no space for the antenna and the board to sit in there. But let's test it out anyway. I have another board that has a ripped antenna that we can use for this test. Let's get this antenna off and then we could test out that heater. Now this is a board that came in. It's a donor board that I bought for bottom board swaps, and it just happened to have a ripped cable, so I did get a discount on the price. So there's many ways to do this. I like to first kind of heat the area and go in circles and put my blade, like flat tool, to kind of clear the adhesive around it. I'm at 350 Celsius and 35% air on my add-in hot air station. And then I kind of slice through, heat in circles, and it comes right off. While it's still hot, let's clean this up a little bit. All right, so almost done here. Let's get this glue off. I have a feeling it's gonna burn in the heater and create more smoke. All right. Okay, so now let's see if this fits. All right, so now it does. So now you can see there's basically no room for that 5G antenna. So this is already a disqualified tool for me and probably for anyone here in the US, unless you want to be the type that will have to remove the antenna for every repair, which is not practical. So JC or Aixun, honestly, I still don't know if that's the same company. If you guys are watching this, make sure you guys always take into consideration us, the US customers, we have 5G antennas like this, so include that in your design. All right, so let's turn this thing on. So by default, it looks like it's set to 180 still. So I'm just gonna let it heat up to 180 and then see what happens. Now I did, once again, forgot. This specific model has a sticker on this side. Let's get this off as well. There's also a kind of heating pad here. You can decide to leave it there or you can remove it. Usually I remove it, so let's just do that real quick. Try to get it all in one piece like this. It's like one giant pad. Reminds me of that pad on the bottom of it when you buy chicken. All right, so now it's clean. Put it back. I got all the foam removed as well. All right. So right now it's at 140 Celsius. You can see it's at 140 something, and it's working its way up. So let me increase the brightness. So I'm seeing smoke again. Oh wow, I'm seeing the flux on the board already. Wow, look at that. At 160, it'll work. Let me turn this off. I also don't want to ruin my donors for no reason. Now I wish there was an easier way to get in here. Or I'm gonna grab it from the wall and let's see. Yeah, so I don't know what's going on with that temperature. It's very fast. All right, let's take a look under the microscope and see how this looks. All right, so let's take a look, and basically we want to look for any kind of solder balls like last time. And I already see right here, there's some solder balls all over the place. So yeah, this heater is way too high in the temperatures. It's gonna destroy board. If you're assuming, the regular convention of, let's say 2 something, like 220 for, 12 series and newer, or like 180 for, older phones with the lower temp, you're gonna destroy the boards until, kind of like what I did, is just try it on some donor boards and then find out that it's way too hot. It's hotter than the actual setting you're seeing on the display. Maybe there's something I'm doing wrong, but something doesn't seem right. But you can see here, there's a few more solder balls here. You can see all these tiny little solder balls. These little balls are basically, solder balls are basically like the heat generates like gases within the solder and flux and stuff. And when it's trapped inside underfill, basically it kind of squeezes these solder balls out because there's like gases and stuff happening, and it has nowhere to go but just kind of squeeze out. So that's kind of what floating means and kind of solder balls mean. So yeah, this is destroyed. So let's try one more. I'm gonna grab another 12 Pro Max and then see if we can maybe figure out what is the proper temp. Maybe I could put it even lower. So actually we're gonna do a 13 Pro Max. I couldn't find a 12 Pro Max donor board that I wanted to potentially destroy, and I did find a 13 Pro Max that actually has a missing 5G antenna, which I'm assuming we're gonna need missing for this test. And by the way, that plate was really hot. So let's take a look. Yeah, there's gonna be definitely no space. The 5G antenna comes out this way, and then I don't know how effective you'll be at dremeling out the slot for the 5G antenna. So, it's an unfortunate thing of this tool that is not USA friendly, but let's go ahead and continue this test. So, lay this down. I've already removed all the foam and stickers on the sides and everything. I also removed the sticker thing here on the back. Okay, so you know what, let me first turn this on. I'm gonna bring down this temp. Let's do 120 first and see what happens. Because on the 12 Pro Max, I did notice while I'm recording this, after I recorded the splitting of the 12 Pro Max, that the camera was messing up and it recorded all choppy. So sorry about that. This should be recorded all smoothly, and I fixed the setting on my software. So one thing I noticed is that there was a ton of flux bubbling here along the edges, like super quick. Now it is nice that it heats up really fast, but it's not nice that the temperature is like way off. So let's see what happens in this case. We're only at 120. Hopefully that's safe enough. You know, the 12 Pro Max we split at 160-ish. So I brought it down way below, I think, a safe threshold, and then I'll slowly work it up to hopefully we find the sweet spot. It could be just my unit's defective. It could be, you know, there's some way to calibrate it, but you know, it's typical. Most tools from China, these don't come with any instructions whatsoever, and they're kind of self-explanatory, but you know, still it'd be nice to have some manual to kind of explain. Maybe this number is not the temperature, but something else, or I don't know. All right, so I reached 120. Let's see, can I split it? So I'm gonna look at it from the side. I don't see any flux. I am gonna try to use my little flat blade here. It's super thin. Let's see if I could fit it between the layers. No, I can't seem to separate anything. All right, I'm gonna go up 130 and see what happens. Basically, we want it hot enough to melt the solder along the edges of the sandwich interposer pads, but we don't want to float those bottom components like on the last one where we saw a bunch of solder balls around baseband. Kind of defeats the whole purpose. So I'm gonna look here from the side view. Nope. Although I did see a little bit of smoke. All right, I do see flux bubbling now. We're at 130. By the way, we don't need a microscope for this, at least for me. If you're new to all this, maybe definitely work under the microscope. Once you do enough of these, you kind of know what to look for. All right, I'm lifting the board, but it's not the top layer, it's the whole board. Definitely, I can't get my tool through, so I know the solder is melted. Let's go to 140 and see what happens. Basically, once my tool starts entering the gap between the top and bottom board, then I know the solder is melting. Right now, it's still, I don't know what that flashing light means too. Oh man. All right, nothing yet. Let's go to 150. All right. I mean, we're getting close to that 160 threshold the 12 Pro Max melted at. Oh, actually, I'm seeing some movement here. I don't know, you guys can see that on camera. Yeah, look at that. I've separated the top half. Let me go here in the lower half. And look at that, we got it off. Let me give my tweezers here on the side. Get it off. Look at that, I can lift this up. The fan is on. I think this is to turn off the heater. Yeah, I can't go any further with this, so. Although, I don't know, maybe someone has a better idea of how to manage this. And let me get it out of the little heater slot. And I'm using the fan to kind of cool it down. Alright, that's enough. Let me put it under a microscope and see what it looks like. Okay, so basically we want to look for the same thing we saw in the last one. We want to check for solder balls. Now that actually looks normal. Part of this chip looks like a surface mount kind of chip. One thing you'll also notice is the sandwich pads themselves are very flat versus this one where they all like solder, like round solder balls. That means they were fully melted when you split, whereas when it's like this, it's kind of like barely reaching the threshold of the solder melting enough to be weak enough to separate the boards. And that's kind of what I'm used to on my other heaters. So it looks like 150 is the temperature, at least on my specific unit. You know, you may want to experiment like I just did on yours. But yeah, I'm not seeing any solder balls. You know, on the other ones you're seeing like bulges on caps, little tiny solder balls everywhere. But I do like how quickly this reaches temp. It's way faster than any of the other ones I use. Maybe I'll switch to this full time. I don't know. I'll need to experiment a little more, but yeah, 0 solder balls. And I think if I would have set it to 150 right away, I would have split this in under a minute probably. So see these solder balls here on the sandwich pads? That means these were fully molten. Let's compare on this side. Or maybe not. So these are kind of flat. Alright, let's check the rest of the top board. Make sure for any carnage here on this side. Let's clear out this thermal paste. Alright, so let me ask you guys, if you made it this far, do you guys remove and replace the solder paste? You reuse it, or you remove it and don't replace it? Let me know down below in the comments. Also, if you're enjoying this video, make sure you smash the like button if you are finding this review helpful. Do you want more reviews like this where I just kind of test it live and see what happens? I don't know what this is actually. There's like a blob of solder. I didn't even touch that part of the board. Let's see, this goes like this. Oh, that's weird. I wonder if it picked up. Oh, when I first split it, the board sat on here for like a second, and I think I grabbed some solder. So yeah, that's nothing. Oh, whatever. I'll forget about that. So yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comments. Is this a tool you're interested in? You might consider getting? Will you be kind of pre-testing it first before using any live customer boards? I would definitely recommend that. But yeah, this top board looks good. No damage from the heater. So now we learned use 150 for 12 and 13 series. For iPhone 10, 10s, 10s Max, iPhone 11, 11 Pro, 11 Pro Max. Maybe start at 120 and then see if that's good enough. If not, maybe go up a little bit more. But just something to consider is your temperatures and experiment. And then you're probably wondering where to buy this. So let's say you saw this video, you found this tool, something you want to get. So definitely go to DIYFixTool.com. I will link it down below. Now here you can see all the different modules that they include. So this is the main unit that we saw today. And then we have all the different model heaters. I didn't have the 1212 Pro or the mini one. And there's a flat one, so it's just like a generic heater. There's some CPU and NAND options there, Face ID, screen bracket separation. I don't know what that is, the 13 series. So yeah, if you buy the whole kit with all the modules, you're looking at $209.55 plus shipping. You know, depending on where you are, it could be, you know, it is from China and I'm in the US, so generally that's between, you know, $20, $40 to $60, just depending on how heavy the package is. This box wasn't too heavy, so maybe it won't be too much. Let's see, it doesn't say anything about what to do with temperatures, but yeah, I mean, you could also just buy the main units. It looks like it comes with those, and then additionally buy the different modules for your specific use case. So there you go. It does have 3 reviews on here as well. Alright, so make sure you guys check out the link down below. So if you enjoyed this review and this walkthrough of this heater, make sure you smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this. You know, let me know down below in the comments what you guys thought of this tool. Will you be getting it? Is there another tool you want me to review here on the channel? You know, especially if you could find it on DIYFixTool.com. They'll send me a free sample just so I can do videos on them. So let me know down below in the comments. I look forward to hearing from you guys. You know, if you do want to support the channel, what we do here, check out these t-shirts. I will link down below as well, my merch store. Also, if you want to, another way to support me is through my locals community. This is a private forum where I post different repairs I'm working on, you know, kind of what I saw, how I solved it, and the whole thought process on it. And it is a place where you can post questions. So if you have a repair you're working on, you want to post about it, or if you have some questions on a specific type of issue you're having, you know, that is something you can do if you're a paying supporter. So I appreciate all you guys who've joined so far, and I look forward to seeing more of you there. So make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video with all your friends who do phone repair, who want to split sandwich boards and generate a bunch of solder balls. So thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.